You've just tuned in to Brother to Brother. It's the show that's sweeping the country. My name is Jeremy Williams, and this is my brother,
Christopher Williams.
Hey, we're the brothers from the same mother and father, right out of Silsbee, Texas, and we're here in the beautiful city of Beaumont, Texas. Want to share some things with you that's going to make your life great and push you into where God wants you to be.
Well, hey, we've been pressing in this morning. We've gone from a number of topics, man.
Yeah.
From walking through the darkness, and I think it's all strategic. We were living in the darkness, finding out that there were dark areas of our lives, things that we needed to deal with and overcome. We moved into talking about having mentors, being honest with ourselves. This last segment, we were talking about relationships and family and how to create a mastermind group of people. We had some wonderful comments that came in and talked about how do we be honest with ourselves?
That's right.
How do we overcome the hangups that usually life will bring to us? But you know what? There is light at the tunnel. There is a resurrection for your life. Bad relationships, it doesn't matter. Jesus can restore the love. There's been hurts. There's been disappointments. You know what? Jesus can give you the victory and you can rise above, man.
The thing that I love, and this is one of my favorite passages, I don't want to really take us to church, but we use the Bible to refer to our success in becoming great. And it says this: for the joy that was set before Jesus, he endured the cross and he despised the shame for the joy that was set before him.
Yeah.
And now he's seated at the right hand of the Father. So he achieved greatness. He achieved his goal. But the question is, have you set something in front of you? What is your faith project? What is your destiny goal? What is the greatness goal that you set for yourself? Have you set a greatness goal for your life? We can talk about all these things, but do you have a greatness goal? None of these broadcasts are going to really help you. They might be entertaining and funny, but we're trying to push you to greatness. See, I know, Chris, that a lot of our listeners and people are tuning in. You're not satisfied with the normal, mundane life. You go to sleep, you wake up, go to work, take care of the kids, take care of your spouse, your babe, your significant other. You come home, you go to the movies on Saturday, you go out to eat with your girls, and you have ladies' night on Fridays. And then, come on, man, you hang with the fellas and watch football on Sundays, and then you start the process all over again. That is not the full scope of your life. That's not what God intended. He intended for you to do something great. And the greatness that he's put in you has to come out, but it comes out when you yourself partner with him with a greatness goal. What is your greatness goal?
Greatness goals, man. That's a great way to say that, brother. It's a great way to look at the potential of your life, what you can accomplish, because there's no mediocrity in God's creation. Not nowhere, not 1 ounce of it is without purpose. Not one cell of it is without purpose.
Yeah.
And so you are one of God's greatest creations. You're one of the most beautiful things that he's created all of this other glory for. It says he looks at us with pride and with joy in our lives and expect us to do wonderful things with the opportunities that we've been given. And so we're going to jump in today about what it actually takes to have greatness goals, to look at our lives, what are some of the paths that we can take, and the tools that we need to be great people, man.
And when we're talking about greatness goals, I know they taught us in school, Chris. We used to take this, it's called career planning. It was a class at Silsbee High School. Miss Rome taught it. Miss Rome, what's up, Miss Rome? But in that class, they taught us to set goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. But one of the things that was in the actual textbook that I totally disagreed with was to set reasonable goals. Set achievable goals. How do you measure reasonable or achievable if what you're setting, Chris, nobody's ever done it before?
I think that kind of goes back into what this last conversation we were having earlier, man, is that because that depends on what your self-talk is about.
Okay.
And how you're looking at your life. And if you're saying achievable goals, reachable goals, you could be, Les Brown said something like this. He said, you got to be disappointed because aim high and miss. Right? He said aim
I
high
love
and
that.
miss.
I love that.
Because you got to be aware if you aim too low and you hit it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a way that he said that. But so we're going to be pushing and saying, somebody said back in the day, you have BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what they're called. Big, hairy, audacious goals, man. BHAGs are what we want to talk about. We want to talk about small steps and incremental steps, but we want to talk about what do we need to do to get to the next level. And we oftentimes use these phrases, next level, higher heights. But you know what? That's true. There's something more that you can accomplish, and we're just going to talk a little bit about that.
All right, let's start here. So in your goal setting, we want to aim high, we want to think big. So right now, hopefully you have a piece of pen, a pen and a piece of paper, I'm sorry. I want you to stretch your mind. I want you to stretch your mind right now. Write down the biggest, greatest idea that you've been carrying around in your mind and in your heart for all these years that you haven't even tried to pursue. You haven't gone after it because somebody told you that's far-fetched. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Think about it, write it down, think about it, think about it. All right. Now that you've written it down, now we can begin the conversation. I want to share another very popular scripture with you. It says that God, the divine giver of life, the God that lives inside of you, that woke you up this morning, he is able to do not exceedingly, but he exceeds abundantly above all that you can ask or think about. So there is no greatness goal too big for God or too big for you. Stretch your mind. So now that you got your greatness goal set, we need to get to a plan of action. Chandra Deneen Williams posted something on the board here. She said you got to have a plan of action. Mm-hmm. How do you find a plan of action, Chris? What do you think?
Well, I like that what Chandra said, and then Tim Clifton said, goals without discipline, without direction is drudgery. So a plan of action, a plan of action and the way that we pursue that. So I'll start with this. There's a lot to be said about personal passions and personal abilities, gifts and talents, okay? Things that you look inside of yourself. And so as a plan, you have to be able to say to yourself, what measure of gift, talent, and ability do I have to accomplish this goal? What measure of gift, talent, and ability do I have to accomplish this goal?
I like that.
And that's the beginning of the plan, because you understand it's like taking a trip anywhere. You got to have a destination. You got to know where you want to end up, and do you have the resources to get to the place that you want to be? Once that is determined within the planning phase, I know where I want to go, okay? Like Tim said, without direction, I got to find a pathway to get there. Mm-hmm. And then you have to look at the drudgery in that statement that he made is when you're ill-equipped. So in the planning phase, you got to know where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what tools are necessary to get me to the next place that I want to be.
Chris, this requires research. Research.
You so man.
Turning the TV off. Facebook Live. Can y'all give me some support on this one? Turning the television off. Okay, we have a formula. This formula is called 144 hours of creation. 144 hours of creation. All right? Mm-hmm. In the 144 hours of creation, this model is taken from the book of Genesis, where in 6 days, a lot of people say God created the world in 7 days. No, he created the world in 6 days. There are 24 hours in a day. All right? So 24 times 6 is 144. So if you commit 144 hours to your greatness goal, how are you going to do this? You're going to chart it. You're going to plan it. That means you're going to look at the 24 hours that God gives you in the day. You're going to look at how many days are in a month and days are in a year. And then you're going to carefully look at how much time you're wasting. In our pursuit of mastery, my brother and I, we took a page from our childhood experience and we started watching less TV. And we started cutting down on our television watching, and we increased the capacity of our libraries. You know, it's an amazing trend, Chris, that now when men buy houses, they get man caves to watch TV and to entertain their friends and foolishness. But in our day growing up, men had libraries. Mm-hmm. Men had bookshelves. Men had studies in their house.
Yeah.
And out of that, we saw families that were prosperous, mm-hmm. families that were developed mentally and educationally mm-hmm. and relationally. So if you look at how much time you're wasting in the day, watching certain reality shows. I'm not going to name any because I don't want brother to brother to get sued. But watching certain reality shows, how much time do you waste watching a football game? Mm-hmm. See, when you're really serious about your greatness goal, you don't have time to waste. You have to lock in. And locking in is something that leads you to your greatness.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, man, because what happens is in this day and time, we've talked about how void information is of value. And so we're not saying to people that you can't never look at TV or have entertainment or leisure.
Have a balance.
What you want to do, however, is you want to make sure that you're feeding yourself information that's in line with your goal, your plan. All right? One of the things that we do when we do watch TV, it's documentaries, it's education, it's stuff that I can look at. I think this is one of the greatest days where with the flattening of our earth, we'll say everybody's compressed through the internet, through Facebook, social media, stuff like that. And we can see lifestyles of other people. People in, remember we used to look at those National Geographics?
Oh, yeah.
And that guy they'll take an excursion down to some remote place and you have a tribe out there in the middle of the jungle that you didn't know even existed.
Right.
But then you look at it and you're like, man, these people are living and they're doing things and they're thriving. And you come away from that with a better sense of humanity's expanse, and there are other people outside of your neighborhood. And so as you program yourself, you want to discern the value in what you're putting inside of yourself. You want to be able to say to yourself, man, it's what I'm about to spend 30 to 40 to 50 minutes on does anything for my life. Now I said, like we're real people, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I'm not walking around looking at documentaries all the time. And when I have leisure, I have leisure. Mm-hmm. So, but then even in that, I balance it and I want to make sure I have value coming into myself.
And check this out. In 144 hours of creation, if you chart those hours, Chris, like you said, now, when God, on the seventh day, he rested, mm-hmm. I think that's real important. Mm-hmm. I think it's real important to have that type of balance.
Yeah.
I think it's real important that there is leisure time, and there is time for family, and there is time for vacation. And there is a time where you can watch the Cleveland Cavaliers this year as they win their next championship. Now, with all that being said, the thing that we're really concentrating on is how much time are you investing in your greatness goal?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How much time are you scrolling to watch what other people are doing instead of investing in what you're doing?
Check this out, man. There are three things that I've taught in other segments and places. And I just want to talk to you. I know we're trying to get them, but there's something that we look at that makes this personal. There are three things. Mm-hmm. I call them the 3 E's, like E, the letter E. 3 E's of empowerment that, because right in the middle of your planning, right in the middle of your research, you're going to hit a wall in your goal setting, in your greatness goals. You're going to hit a wall, and you're going to come up against something that is either going to tell you that you can't do that, all right? And it's usually in the planning and the research phase, like you've already laid up. So if you have a piece of paper, you can, like I'm doing on mine, I'm dialoguing this, that you're going to come up against a wall. And this wall that you're going to come up are 3 E's at this wall. And the first one is your environment, because your environment is going to tell you a message. It's going to speak to you. Your environment has a voice that can tell you what it is that you can and cannot do. It's like you live off, in the hood. We all know hoods. It's nothing against anybody where you live, but you in the hood, man, and you got the hood environment. It's laid out like a stage. You may have some drug dealers over there, some dilapidated houses, some people that are looking like they're really not prospering. Hoods have different makeups. that hood is going to tell you something about what may be possible for your life. So first of all, you cannot listen to what your old environments have told you, and you have to break through, because right when you think you're playing and right when you think you're doing, you're going to say, well, you came from a little town in a little part of the country that nobody knows about. Nobody from your town has ever done anything like that. Nobody from your town has ever seen that or been there. That's an environment speaking to you. All right. The next one that we have to, the next voice is the voice of our experiences.
Yeah.
All right. Because goals are like this. Goals are like this. They're going to be based off, or you can get off of your goals if you've had a negative experience. You've had a bad experience in your life. The next time you're faced with that bridge or that little gap that you have to get over, it's like when kids are coming up, man, and they touch the hot stove.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson. You know what I'm saying? They touched that hot stove, and we was coming up that heater.
Space heater.
That space heater.
What you know about that?
You touch that space heater,
Space
man.
heater, man.
And it burns your hand, and you come back to it, and you're going to try to do it again, and it's going to be, See, that can happen in experiences. You go out and you get out there on the limb, and you say, you know what, man, I'm going to go to school. You know, I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to expand my mind. And then you fail the class, or you don't have the money to continue, and you drop out. So the next time that opportunity comes, here's a negative experience telling you can't do that. Well, you got to be able to reach into positive experiences. Listen to other people who've gone through the same thing and overcome that thing. And the last one real fast, because this is the roadblock. Because we're going to get past this. Once we get past our environment, once we come up with and create a different experience for our life, the next E that we have to get over is explanation. Now, this is a big deal right here.
I like that.
Because there are some things in life that you are doing wrong, I've done wrong, that we have the potential to do wrong because we got the wrong explanation. We got they told us the wrong reason. And so the explanation becomes something that, at its worst, you begin to create as truth in your life. We need good explanations. One of the most frustrating things that I've seen with students and kids, a kid can become very frustrated when they ask you, Mom, Daddy, why did that happen? And you're like, well, because, you know,
and I said so.
I said so. Sit down somewhere. And they, they leave with this gap, and you don't understand. It's one of the most frustrating things for everybody. Sometimes one of the things that, people get on God about. And I say, we fuss at God because something tragic will happen, and we'll say, Lord, why did that happen? You know what I'm saying? And then we feel like there's not an explanation. So we can stop believing. We can stop leaning and depending on God and exercising our faith. But you know what? There is truth. There is explanation. So this is always the roadblock. All right. Now, Jeremy, you're going to get us on the other side of this roadblock. But if we can get over our environments, or at least change the environment on pursuit to your greatness goal, if you want something great, you got to be in a great environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to go to places and be with people that are doing great things in order for that greatness to get on you. That experience, all right? There were bad experiences. You know what? But the thing, like experiences, they can be like tires. You can change it. You can change an experience. You can become conscious and creating a different experience for yourself. And then lastly, the explanation. Search out truth. Search out the real meaning of things. And quit just accepting what everybody else is saying. You go to the source, find out what it is, and we'll get past this roadblock.
Hey, Chris, so I have here hitting the wall. That's what you said. Hitting the wall, hitting the roadblock. This is going to sound like a counterintuitive statement.
And look what Jermaine said. He said, yes, sir, doctor.
A counterintuitive statement, Chris. Now, check this out. When you hit the wall, you're going the right way.
Absolutely.
In elementary school, we were taught puzzles. And you start, they give you a starting place. And then as you're going through the maze or the puzzle with your little pencil, remember the big cheap pencils? And so the pencil's like longer than your arm. So you're going through the maze, right? And then whenever you hit a wall, it's a symbol that you're going the wrong way. Well, when you're talking about achieving your greatness goals, when you hit the wall, it's actually a sign that you're going the right way. Well, Jeremy, what are you talking about? Because we're not talking about average run-of-the-mill goals. Because brother to brother, we're not talking to average run-of-the-mill people. What we're talking about is you doing something that maybe your generation has never seen before. Nobody in your family has ever done before. Like you said, nobody in your town has ever seen it before. So if you're on a pathway and it's easy, that means chances are somebody's already done it. Chances are you're just following in somebody else's footsteps. But when you step out, man, and you're doing your research, you have your environment, your experience, your explanation, and you hit a wall, don't quit.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, can you tell him don't quit?
Don't quit, man.
Hey, man, don't quit. Don't give up,
Yeah.
because that means you're going the right way. The wall is put there for you to learn a lesson of how to get over it or around it.
Yeah.
This is going to serve you well as you get to the next step, because that wall really is going to build you up.
Yeah.
So don't quit. Hit the wall head on, climb over it, go around it. Whatever you got to do, it's going to help you.
I love what Chandra's saying. She said your goals should stretch you.
Yeah.
All right. So that takes us to the other side of that wall. Okay. And I think on the other side of that wall comes your strength.
Hey, Nina.
You should be strengthened when you hit the wall. It's the failure. It's falling down. It's scraping your knee. It's in the gym, breaking the muscles. You know what I'm saying? And the muscles have to repair. You should be stronger. So strengthen your resolve. When you're in the pursuit of great goals, you're going to plan, you know where you want to go, how you want to get there, and the tools you need. You're going to research. You're going to start bringing those things into your life. But you'll find out when that execution comes, you'll hit the wall.
Yes.
Your experiences, your explanation, and your environment will say something to you will be stretched, but now it's time for strength. Strengthen your resolve in this moment that you will make it. Like Jeremy said, don't quit. Strengthen your resolve that you will make it, you will accomplish it, you will see the end result. One of the things that I've said in my life many times, that I will see what I first seen inside of myself. A resolve, man, not to quit. Some stick-to-itness in your goal. When you're going after big, hairy, audacious goals and greatness goals, you're going to get tired. You're going to have, one of the stories I share about running a race.
Come on, man.
And we can't tell the whole story today,
It's
but
one of my favorite stories.
but part of the story is when you get to a certain point in the race, the only thing you have left is the training and your just stick-to-itness, because your muscles are aching, your lungs are shriveling, it seems like, and on fire, and you don't have all of the other things that you need. Your athleticism may go out the door, and you start running just based off pure will to get to the end.
Right.
So we got to strengthen. After the wall, gain your strength and be lifted up.
There's a proverb, Chris, that says that the race is not given to the swift, nor to those that excel above everybody else in strength, but to the one that endures to the end. I want to tell a quick story. Now, you went to regionals in track. You were a great track athlete, also in powerlifting. You did a lot of things. You're so humble, you don't talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. But trying to follow in the footsteps of my brother, my senior year, I tried to run track. Okay, I know everybody in Silsbee is laughing, right? So, in this only track meet that I ran, number one, I only went to practice like 2 or 3 times. I'm a basketball player. I wasn't fully aware of the actual training. I was like, it's track. How hard can it be? They're just running in a circle. I don't know. It never made sense to me. So I'm like, I can do it. The coach says, hey, man, why don't you come on out here? Your brother was a good track athlete. You can do it. That's what the coach said to me, right? I got out there on the, which one has the curve? 300 meter hurdles.
300 meter hurdle.
That's what my brother ran. So I'm thinking I could do what my brother did. Wow, the gun shoot, I take off, Chris. I'm like, hey. I run, and I'm jumping over the hurdles. I'm utilizing my athletic ability. I started out full speed ahead. Once I got around the curve, they call that the learning curve. They also call it where the monkey jumps on your back. Once I got around the curve and got on the straightaway, I was totally out of gas. I was done. I hit a wall in my physical ability. But guess what? As the other schools streaked by me, I saw colors of purple, I saw colors of blue. It looked like everybody was getting ahead of me, but my accomplishment, my goal was to finish. As I turned around and saw that there was one other kid from Orangefield, Texas behind me, I made up in my mind I am going to win this race. And winning for me was finishing. So we want to tell you, you can't measure yourself with other people, Chris, in these last few moments. Your greatness goals have to be determined from within. And then you got to finish. Don't give up.
You have to finish. And I love that, man. One of the secrets, and I'll tell you in the story, even of my life, I didn't come in first. I did not come in first in that race.
Wow.
But I had to beat the enemy, the guy that challenged me. So listen, first place, you may not get there first. You may not get there first, but you just got to be confident that you've done your best, that you've beaten your own personal demons. You've done the thing that in yourself you'd always convinced yourself that you couldn't do, that you couldn't have, but you get there and you say, you know what, God dog it, it could be anything. If you want to buy your first car and it's not a Mercedes, you know what I'm saying? It's not a BMW, it's nothing like that, but you know what you did to get there? You know what you did? You saved the money. You put a plan together. That was a goal that you wanted to reach for yourself, and you got there. You should drive that doggone little Pinto, whatever it is that you're driving with pride.
And I keep it clean.
And keep it clean. You know why? Because you accomplished that. You did that. And I'm telling you, across the board, there may be things in your life, and we get excited about it, but there may be things in your life. Other people have them. You see other people, but it doesn't matter. It's yours. So go after your greatness goal. Your greatness goal is not Jeremy's greatness goal. It's not my greatness goal. It's yours. So don't get upset at yourself if you don't have what somebody else has. And I think that's probably one of the ending steps in that is praise your own successes.
God.
Celebrate your own successes.
Celebrate yourself. Yeah.
Man, celebrate what you've accomplished. Ooh, there's no greater feeling, man, than to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I did a good job.
I did a good job.
Man, I did my best in this, and I am so happy about what I accomplished. Celebrate that moment for your life. Mark it in your psyche. Mark it in your heart. And then the next time you need to go to somewhere, you're going to remember, hey, I have a moment where I won.
In these last few moments, we want to speak to the Facebook Live family. We want you to send in text messages or messages to us stating an encouraging phrase to encourage our people that are tuned in not to give up. Start sending them now. Send them now. We got a few more seconds. I want to say this. If you never give up, you'll never lose. If you never give up, you will never lose. Only people that fail are people that give up. So grab that greatness goal, put it in front of you, put it on the refrigerator, put it on the dashboard, write it down, start a photo album so your story can be told after you're dead and gone that I never gave up and God came through and he blessed me and I achieved my greatness goals. Chris, this is brother to brother, man. We're going to see you guys next time. Share it with somebody. God bless. Here we go. Come on.